of like, it's going to be based on your content and what you want to do. I will say, for viewership's sake, for the most part, you're going to have the best results getting people to stick around when they're swiping through their feed with portrait mode. But if you're doing gaming or something, like if you want the full stream there, doing widescreen is fine. I'm going to do portrait because we're showing off the vertical plugin and doing it that way. But you could totally just virtual cam your whole widescreen scene out this way if you want. We're going to click finish. All right. This is TikTok Live Studio. This is not a full tutorial course on TikTok Live Studio because this is a course about OBS. So I'm going to not walk through most of this. But you can see here you have your vertical layout set up here. It automatically added a display capture source and my camera to our scene. And you have different scene collections for widescreen versus portrait, which is pretty cool. We're going to add a new scene. We're just going to do blank so we can add our virtual camera. There we go. Again, it automatic. Blank. There we go. So here, it has nothing. It does give you some options to cast stuff from mobile, which is sick. But again, we're going with the ATEM vertical plugin. I'm just giving you little nuggets that you can pursue down as you get interested in these things and find out for yourself later. That's my job, right? So you can see here, we have our faux webcam vertical layout that we set up using the ATEM vertical plugin. And all we're going to do is click the vertical virtual camera button and get rid of these obnoxious backtrack buttons. That's good to go. So now we're going to add a camera. We're going to choose OBS virtual camera. YU2 is fine. We're going to say it's the foreground. Oh. We're going to say green screen. No, we don't want either of those. There we go. Yeah, don't do either of that. Although you could chroma key if you want. Default settings are fine. Why are we on landscape? What happened? That was weird. Add camera. OBS virtual cam. Add source. And then just resize it to fit your screen. Pin it. And you're good to go. You can start adding goals and doing whatever you want in that regard. But that adds your video and syncs it up to your OBS instance. And you can see here, it's basically instantaneous. From there, like I said, though, you do still need to manage your audio sources. Theoretically, you could do this with the Elgato Wave XLR, the not the Go XLR, the Beacon stuff, something that provides virtual devices. But if you don't have those fancy things, I'm going to show you how to do it with the simplest piece of software for adding a virtual audio device to your system. I don't like Voicemeeter Banana or any of those other ones because they add so many devices and overhead that you end up with audio popping, crackling, other issues. But VB Cable is kind of the simplified version that just gives you one device, and this is all that you need. I'm going to go ahead and extract the installer zip and run it. VB Cable setup x64.exe is what you're going to want. Install driver. You have to run it as admin, of course. Of course. I don't actually know what the difference is in programs that can request admin mode on their own versus you having to manually do it. I don't know why some programs make you manually do it. Click install. And reboot. All right, and moving on from that, now you need to go to settings, audio, after reopening OBS and everything, of course. Go ahead and make sure your microphone and other audio devices are set appropriately. So I'm just going to do that here real quick. Do main output and disabled for that. Actually, we're going to do main output.
Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel.
And then come down here to advanced monitoring device. You want to change that to cable input.
Well, I got a message on Twitch right now.
And make sure disable Windows audio ducking is checked. Click apply and OK. We're going to scroll in our audio mixer here. See that going. See our music going. We have audio producing. We can enable the virtual camera, which is going to send our video output to our video program. But now we can use that audio output to copy our
pretty good, huh?
stream audio to another program. So in Discord, if you want to stream on Discord, do a video call, do a stage channel with video, any of that, you go to settings.
How I could do a multi-stream without going to restream.io, which is pretty cool. However,
virtual camera working as your video source.
On my multiple output
for your audio,
thing,
instead of your normal microphone, come down here.
I'm obviously
want to choose
streaming onto Twitch, which is good.
Cable. And then for your normal output device,
but
you probably
it keeps on dropping for
default is fine. Now, if we test it,
Kind of annoying.
Check, 1, 2. Looks like we're not getting any sound, so we need to figure that out real quick. Come over here to your advanced audio properties. We did not turn on audio monitoring, but we haven't turned on audio monitoring for any individual device. So we want it monitor and output. Since we're monitoring to a device that is not being picked up on stream, we want monitor and output for our microphone, as well as our music and any other source you want to get picked up, which means you can exclude things like alerts or something if you don't want them to know. But now it's working. Yay! We open that up. And for this one, I'm going to turn off the normal virtual camera. And instead, I'm going to turn on the vertical virtual camera from the ATEM vertical plugin I showed before. We're going to go to our blink scene here. It is not doing vertical. I think because we already had it going before, even though I turned it off. So we're going to relaunch OBS and TikTok. Okay, now it's getting a stretch. There we go. 1080p vertical, fit it back to screen. So now that's our video source. We still got to get our microphone. So come down here to the audio settings. That is the normal stream settings. We want the audio mixer settings. Primary speaker, we do not want that to go into VB cable. That might be why it was looping so much. We want to set that back. That was a mistake. For audio, we want for the input device, cable input. We're going to save. I'm actually going to relaunch this since it was using the cable output for its... And we're good to go. Now you have both audio and video that you can send out to TikTok Live with your vertical plugin or to Discord for your Discord streaming and so on. Ultimately, simul streaming is more work up front to set up, juggle chats, and so on, but can help you more easily reach more people in the long run and to not be dependent on any particular streaming platform anymore, or have to sell your soul to gambling.
But we're gonna do some gambling, for sure.
It's up to you whether you multi-stream, but this guide will, or at least should, help you along your way. If you're still struggling with the OBS side of things, I definitely recommend you check out my definitive guide to OBS course with the 50% off relaunch sale. And don't miss this video on whichever side it is about all the encoding changes that came to YouTube this year, as they'll be coming to Twitch before too long as well. Be kind, rewind.
Boy, it's really having problems connecting with Kick. Cool. Right, I need to sort out. Look, I've got no followers and no friends. Doesn't matter. What does matter is I'm actually. This is more of a tester, guys. I'm just testing everything out here. Testing audio qualities, testing music, all this crap. And what I was gonna say was I should be live streaming on YouTube, right? I'm just checking my channel. Yeah. What I was gonna say was I wonder if we can make my audio better. I should be live streaming on YouTube, right? I'm just, if my microphone is right over here, I think it's better, isn't it? Yeah. What I was gonna say was I wonder if we can make my audio better. I should be live streaming on YouTube, right? I'm just, if my microphone is right over here, I think it's better, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely better. Let me. What I was gonna say was, yeah, I got it. I wonder if we can make my audio better. I should be live streaming on YouTube, right? If my microphone is right over here, I think it's better, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely better. Let me. And the Twitch is working. Is the Twitch working? And the Twitch is working. Wow, latency between Twitch and YouTube is latency latency between Twitch and YouTube is latency 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 between Twitch and YouTube is latency between Twitch and YouTube is I've got 2 followers on Twitch. Damn. I've got 2 followers on Twitch. Yeah. Yeah. Damn. 2 goddamn followers, my friends. Yeah. Yeah. Damn. 2 goddamn followers, my friends. Yeah. Yeah. 2 goddamn followers, my friends. Yeah. Yeah. 2 goddamn followers, my friends. I don't know why I'm getting an echo chamber. I've had a crazy day. tired as hell. Man, I need to figure out what's wrong with Kick. RTMS. Let's get to the bottom of this bad boy. PCU. Kick.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have something pretty interesting to talk about. With the recent news and recent uptick in people wanting to go over to Kick, today we're going to be talking about how to get you guys set up on Kick with the best possible settings to get a nice crispy clear HD stream. There's been a lot of people moving over to Kick, a lot of people quitting Twitch. This seems to be a pretty controversial thing, but if you are going to stream on Kick or you want to get into setting up your stream, this is where you're going to figure out everything you need to know. I myself have recently just moved over to Kick from Twitch. I have nothing against Twitch. I do not hate Twitch in any way, but for me, looking at my brand as a business, this is strictly a business move. Kick is just a better place for me to be right now in terms of growing my brand. And if you're thinking the same exact thing, or you're just getting started streaming right now and you want to stream on Kick, this is going to be the video for you. For anyone who doesn't know, we put out a video at the beginning of the week announcing our move to Kick. We're pushing partner right now. We're having a great time doing it. And if you guys want to stop by and hang out with me live on Kick, it's kick.com/hammerdance. Head on over there, drop a follow, turn on your notifications in your settings so you know when I go live. But anyways, guys, without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so the first thing you guys are going to need to do is head on over to obsproject.com. This is where you're going to download OBS Studio. And OBS Studio is going to be the program that you use to set up your stream, right? This is going to house your alerts, your gameplay, your camera, any graphics you want on stream. This is where it's all going to be coming from OBS. We set everything up in OBS. So head on over to obsproject.com and then download OBS Studio for your respective operating system. Now, once you download, install, and open up OBS for the first time, you're going to be presented with what I have right in front of me. However, your screen is going to be black. And if you look down here under sources, you're going to have no sources and no scenes, right? So in OBS, we have to build our scenes, and our scenes are compiled of a bunch of sources. So in this scene right here, what you guys are seeing, just so you understand, is a display capture, meaning it's capturing everything on the monitor in front of me, my main display file that's currently under or bottom. You're going to add a scene, and I would just be able to see what I'm doing and what I'm trying to show you because I'm actually recording using this scene right now. So create a scene called main scene. It'll still be black. Head on over to sources, click the plus sign, and what you're going to do is hit display capture, right? And select your main the screen. Or adding a click LR plug in if it would look like the camera. That is how you're going to edit SICK, right? Capture any full screen application, or you can just, there's a lot of stuff in here that will give you free movement of that source. So heading on down to the and then stream key, right? Your stream URL right here, you're going to copy this, and then you're going to paste that in the server tab right here. And we're going to copy our stream key by clicking these two pieces of paper right here. And you're going to paste that right here, and you're going to click apply at the bottom. So once you've done that, now OBS knows when you hit that start streaming button, it's streaming tab right here, streaming settings. We're going to be using one audio track. If you're using more than that, you're probably not watching this video because it's a little bit more advanced. So for the purposes of this video, most of you are going to be using one audio track. Your audio encoder is going to be FFmpeg AAC, or whatever your default option is. Your video encoder, this is pretty important. If you have the option, use NVIDIA HVANC H.264 and do not rescale your output at all. If you're using an AMD GPU, select your AMD option here. Do not use X264 because what the video encoder is actually going to do if you're using the AMD or the NVIDIA encoder is it's going to use your GPU to process your stream and encode, which is a lot less demanding on your PC. If you select the X264 option, it's going to use your CPU to encode, and that's going to give you a lot of problems in whatever game you're playing. You're going to be dropping frames. You're probably going to get some encoding overload errors. I have a pretty solid processor. I'm running AMD 7800X3D, and if I try to encode endgame at high frames with ultra settings, I do get encoding overload errors as well. So I would stop using the X264 encoder, and I suggest that everyone uses their NVIDIA or AMD counterpart, as it's just better for your PC. You'll get better frames and your stream will be really high quality. So moving down to the encoder settings down here, we want rate control set to CBR and your bit rate set to 8,000. Now this is where things start to go one way or the other depending on your PC specs, right? So if you have an extremely powerful PC, you're going to be able to stream in really high quality, or if you're running a dual PC setup. If you don't have a dual PC setup and you have a pretty weak PC, I'm going to give you guys some options to tone down your settings to still get a really good looking stream, but not absolutely destroy your frames in whatever game it is that you're playing. So for the bitrate, like I said, we're going to go with 8K. This is determined by your internet, right? If you want to go to speedtest.net and run an internet test, if you have at least 15 to 25 megabytes of an upload speed, 8K bitrate is okay for you to use. If you have like 5, you're going to want to drop this down to like 4K or 5K. So let's move on to keyframe interval. Keyframe interval, we're going to set that to 2 seconds. And then under preset right here, most of you are going to want to start with P7, which is the best quality preset. And then if you're getting some encoding overload errors or lag, or your stream is just not looking well, or your PC is lagging really bad, you're going to drop that down to slower and then try again, and then you're going to drop down to slow and then try again. Most of you should be able to run on slow, which is a very minimal difference between P5 and P7. So don't worry about that. I know it says good quality and then best quality right here, but the difference is not as noticeable as you would think. So if you want to just save the resources right off the bat, I would say P5 is a great option to start with. Tuning, we're going to set this to high quality tuning, and your multipass mode, we're going to set this to a quarter resolution, 2 passes. I have mine set to full resolution because I'm not gaming right now and I'm actually just recording this video live for you guys. So you would set this to 2 passes, quarter resolution. That's going to be perfectly fine for most people's streams. If you have an incredibly beefy PC with tons of specs and tons of resources that aren't even being used, feel free to drop it down to 2 passes, full resolution.
Kick
but
is
again,
struggling.
right here, this difference is extremely minimal. This does not mean that your stream
Keeps on cutting
a
connection.
quarter of the resolution that it would be if you selected this. It's an extremely small difference, so I would just go with quarter resolution right off the bat. Profile, we're going to set this to high. Look ahead, we're going to uncheck this, and cycle visual tuning, we're going to have this checked. GPU, set this to 0, and max B frames, set this to 2. And now we're going to head on over to the audio tab. And in here, we're going to have a sample rate of 48 kilohertz, and channel is going to be set to stereo. Make sure this is not set to mono, because if you set it to mono, what's going to happen is your viewers will be hearing sound out of one of their ears, and it's going to sound really weird. So make sure this is set to stereo. And for your desktop device, I'm using a Go XLR, so ignore my settings here. If you're not using an audio interface that mixes all your sound into one device, you're going to have this selected as default, or your gaming headphones, whatever you're listening to sound through, whatever you want your viewers to be able to hear as well. Default is a good option. If you're doing some weird mixing where you have them hearing your game sound but not your Discord, which I have a video on that on the channel as well, set this to your headphones. But for good measure, set this to default, and for your microphone, select your microphone or your gaming headset microphone, whatever you're using. Most of this stuff, scrolling down, most of you are not going to have to worry about this. This is a little bit more advanced stuff, so we're going to jump over to the video tab on the left side. Another important tab here, guys. So your base canvas resolution is going to be what you're seeing, what you're gaming at, what your display is, right? I'm using a 1080p 240 hertz display, so my base canvas resolution is 1920 by 1080. If you're gaming in 2K or 4K, make sure your base canvas resolution is set accordingly. And then output scaled resolution, you're going to set this to 1920 by 1080 if you want a 1080 stream. Just keep in mind that streaming in 1080p is a little bit more demanding on your PC. You can always drop it down to 720p, and to be honest, most people don't full screen streams when they're watching them anyway, so 720p comes out really good and really clear. Your downscale filter, as long as these resolutions are matching, you're not going to have a downscale filter because you're not downscaling the resolution. If you are downscaling to 720p, I suggest selecting your downscale filter as Lanxos.
shit. Camera ran out of batteries. Well, we're back.
Are all doing well out there. So, you know, in this new year, I figured I would open myself up to new opportunities, whether that's personal, business, just whatever might happen to come my way, right? And I figured I would kind of create some of that on my end too. There because streamspeak.com and so many people showed out and showed so much love. Like, y'all are insane. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Y'all are incredible. But it's kind of funny because this video could be about 10 seconds long. All of these settings you see right here for Kick are the exact same settings that I use over on Twitch. The only difference is that my bit rate is a whopping 500 kilobits per second higher. On Twitch, they allow around 8,000 kilobits per second, but on Kick, they allow 8,500 kilobits per second, because that 500 kilobits per second, it...
My God.